And the Pledge of Allegiance. Pledge of Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good evening. I'll call the meeting to order. Please call the roll.
Councillor Olson.
Here.
Bridge.
Here.
Bender.
Here.
Stenberg. McDonald. Joyle. Vinslin. Herrick. McKenzie. Brown.
Recognizing a quorum will proceed, and I would ask respectfully of the people in the room to call for a moment of silence for the victims of Sandy Hook, if you will. Councillor Bender, I'd like you to say a few words if you wish.
Yes,
if you would, I mean.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to let the people there know that our thoughts and our prayers are with them and the families and the friends of the 26 victims that were in the school shooting. And there's nothing that we can say except that we share your grief.
Thank you very much. Before we begin, I'd like to recognize two individuals this evening. First, I'd like to recognize the Fire Chief, Chief Rigstead, and if you'd come forward, please. Chief, this is your last council meeting. Yes. And you have a smile on your face. We'd like to present this plaque to you. We had a very nice going away dinner with the chief and his wife and others in the community a couple weeks ago. And there will be coffee and cake at the fire hall, I think, Thursday. And I believe there's some pizza party going on Friday at VIP.
Yes.
So we'd all like to go there and enjoy that opportunity also. I'd like to read this to the people of Superior. Presented to Jim Rigstead, Fire Chief, January 5th, 1983 through December 21st, 2012. In appreciation of your 29-plus years of hard work and dedication to the City of Superior and its citizens, your municipal public service was in the City Fire Department. Here's a brief summary of how your career, I should have brought my glasses over here, started with the City of Superior and how you moved up through the ranks from a motor pump operator to your current position. Thank you so much. Boy, that's better. You were hired in 1983 and promoted to motor pump operator in 1993. In 2001, you moved to the fire captain's specialist position. In 2006, you were promoted to fire battalion chief. And in 2009, you were appointed as fire chief for the City of Superior. You were very instrumental in upgrading the fire department's technical rescue program, and recently you were able to secure a safer grant that put the Superior Fire Department in a more secure position for the future. This was almost $1 million. Since your tenure as fire chief, you have served on the National Fire Protection Association, Wisconsin State Fire Chiefs Association, Vacation Land Fire and Emergency Association, International Association of Fire Chiefs, North Central Fire Chiefs Association, Wisconsin Fire Chiefs Education Association, Area Maritime Security Commerce Executive Steering Committee, Lake Superior Counterterrorism Task Force, Douglas County LEPC, and the Calumet Citizens Community Advisory Panel. Jim, we thank you very much for your hard work and dedication to the citizens of Superior, and we wish you all the very best in your retirement and future endeavors. I have been told that I recently have a nice firefighter's mustache too. So, dated this 20th day of December, on behalf of the City of Superior, Bruce Hagan and the members of the Common Council. Thank you so much.
Well, I guess I have to say how thankful I am for being able to serve on the Superior Fire Department for the last 29 3/4 years. it's been more of a calling than a job, more of a vocation, not just a job, but a way of life. The family of firefighters there at the fire station mean as much to me as my family at home. And I'm looking forward to retirement, but I know that there'll be a hole left in my life. Thank you.
We also have another individual with us tonight who has served the city well, and it also is his last meeting as a common councilor. Lynn, could you please come forward? Len has served the city and its citizens well in his tenure as a councilor. Len has decided to retire from the position of councilor. I think I know why. He's got sunshine in his eyes. And we envy you all for that, by the way. This is presented to Len Joyal, City Councilor, 6th District, April 19, 2011 to December 18, 2012. In appreciation of your hard work and dedication, your district and all of the committees you served on for the benefit of this community, specifically the Parks and Recreation Commission, the Plan Commission, and the Senior Center. Len's been a very dedicated ear and voice for the Senior Center of Superior and has done a great job for them in supporting their causes. And on behalf of the Common Council and the people of this community, Len, we thank you so much for your service. We appreciate your dedication, and we wish you a very happy second retirement.
Well, Mayor Hagan and my fellow councilors, I just want to thank you for all the support and help that you've given me. And to the department heads and the staff, I want to express my gratitude for all the kindness that you've shown me over the last 21 months. So thank you very much.
Item 3, we have a presentation by Jay Ott, Positively Superior.
Mr. Ott.
Good evening, Mayor Hagan, city councilors, staff, and department heads. Thank you for the invitation to come back. Approximately 16 months ago, we approached you with a dream of a magazine for the city of Superior. And because everybody stood behind us, including Mayor Hagan and including City Council, including a whole lot of players, we have a successful magazine. It's been exciting. It's been wonderful. I thank you for supporting it. I thank you for coming to parties and business open houses and helping us celebrate the magazine. We have another announcement for you, and that is that we're here to announce the launch of the website, positivelysuperior.com. This is a new portal on the web for the city of Superior. And we're going to spend just a couple of minutes introducing you to this. I promise not to bore you. We'll step through it quickly. This is the home page. So when you type in to your search engine, you type in Positively Superior. Here we go. You land here where you can take a look at an initial page that shifts between different stories of the current issue. If you'll notice over to the right-hand side, you'll see our editorial partners. You'll see the City of Superior. As we slide over the tops of those, they serve as a link. So if my able-bodied assistant, Tim here, clicks on that, there we go. The nice thing about this is it's search engine optimized. So if somebody lands on our page, they can easily find out what's going on in the City of Superior through the City of Superior's website as well. We'll click on back, And we have navigational tools across the top that says Home, Advertising, Subscribe, Magazine, Contact Us, and Archives. All of those are pretty important as you navigate the site. Of course, the advertising has strictly places where you can find out about what's new in the advertising venue of the magazine. We can click over to that real quickly. Easily, you can, again, latch up and find out information about ad sizes. You can see the different magazines there from the past issues. And, of course, you always have the links to our editorial sponsors. We can click over to subscribe next. And here you'll see an opportunity to subscribe to the magazine in print. And I've got extra copies if any of you have not seen it. This is the newest issue. Happy to deliver those to you tonight. I'm a believer in print. And I'm a believer in a tangible product that gets mailed and delivered to people throughout the city. However, old dogs got to learn new tricks. So we have launched this website to be friendly to laptops, to tablets, to smartphones, to your desktop. And all you have to do is click on the magazine where it says magazine. And in just a couple of moments, up will come the magazine. I'm going to ask Tim to walk us through real quick the navigational tools on the left-hand side. We have a bunch of little boxes that says some thumbnails. You can take a look at the magazine very quickly and go exactly to a page or an article, whatever you want in the magazine, right there by clicking on the magazine. The next navigational tool below that is print. You can print a page. You want to give a page to a friend, you find an article that's interesting, you just click it and it prints right on your own printer. Below that is a share icon. That share says you can email it, you can Facebook it, you can Twitter it, and you can Google it. So there's a lot of ways to share this website with your friends, your family, across the country, across the world. This is a new portal for Superior. Below that, we have a search function, and we're going to get into that in just a minute. But I want to click on the magazine next. I'm an old dog, and I like pages that turn. So we're introducing this as a magazine that has pages that you can turn and read on your laptop, just like any other magazine. Please ignore the roughness of the print. When you blow it up this big, it just doesn't want to read. So, but on your laptop, on your iPad, on your smartphone, you'll be able to read all of this as if it were a printed magazine right in your hand. Some of the fun features of this is there's different ways to turn the pages. There's different searches. If I can ask Tim just to scroll down onto the little Remax spot. There we go. Anywhere there is a website listed in the magazine, you click and you jump right to the website of the business that's advertised in the magazine. If we go back once again, we have a couple more pages. Let's turn to the title page, please. There we go. In here, again, you see all of the stories listed. If you scroll over the Hockeytown, for instance, number 34, you click on that, and you jump right to your story. We tried to find the finest software that we could invest in for this showpiece to work well for the city. Couple of other things. If we take a look at the search option, that's that little magnifying glass icon over there. And we are to type in, let's type in Bruce Thompson. You can search by name, you can search by word. We have 3 matches. Bruce, that handsome guy, shows up 3 times in this magazine. We can click right to page 27. And there's a picture of Bruce up in the upper right-hand corner. At this point, the magazine is available free of charge on the web. We decided that that was the best way to spread the good news, the positive news about Superior across the entire web. All search engine optimized, so if every 60 days Superior's name probably gets mentioned 60 to 100 times in the magazine, that creates activity with the with the web and the optimization. And so this is a wonderful way to get us pushed up to those top magic 10 on Google searches. I'm here to answer any questions, but mostly to say thank you. And we've started out with a great sprint. The marathon has just begun. Thank you for all of you that have supported and helped on the editorial. And we're just going to keep growing. Any questions?
Councilor Bender?
Jay, it's not a question, it's just a thank you. Thank you for on the beginning page of the PowerPoint presentation having a couple pictures of the Dragon Boat Festival.
We have a little bias, don't we?
I know somebody else in the audience who would be happy about that too. So thank you for that, and it's a great magazine.
I have to be honest with you, we've had a blast. I mean, it has taken off. It's gained support of something that I didn't imagine. It's been supported by businesses across the board. It's been supported by institutions across the board, and of course, our city has been a great supporter. And we couldn't have done it without everybody, including the advertisers. So it's been a wonderful start, and we're looking forward to telling a lot of great stories coming up. The only other thing you need to know is, as of January, we will have an archive. You can read every single issue of the magazine online. So if you missed the first one or two, come on back, visit the website. When you're in California visiting your friends over the Christmas holiday, search to Superior and search just Positively Superior, and you'll find it, and they can enjoy it as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jay. It's been a huge success. I believe, if I recall correctly, we were anticipating the first edition to be maybe 16 pages, and it turned out to be 40 or 50 pages. A lot of great stories, uncovering a lot of good gems in the community, and it's been a very well-received publication as well as media for us to celebrate the business community and the successes that we have, as well as tell the story of other people. Thank you so much.
My pleasure. Thank you very much.
This time I'll ask for consideration of the minutes of the December 4th council meeting. For the motion and second. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 5.1 is a public hearing. It's an ordinance introduced by the Plan Commission amending the zoning code and map to rezone property between 22nd and 23rd Avenues East and East 2nd and 5th Streets from R3 Apartment Residential to C2 Highway Commercial District.
I'd like to ask Director Cirque to give a briefing on this. Maybe.
I work different program than I have. Councilors, Mayor, thank you. I just wanted to give you a brief overview. We don't have anything on here. It's turned off. Just want to give you a brief overview of essentially, hopefully we'll be able to have some power here. Yeah. I turned it off. Oh, you did? Yeah, all right. Yeah, there it goes. All right. That's all right. I can begin, and if you want to look off of the handout that I provided tonight, I wanted to discuss a little bit about both of the items that are on the agenda, not only the rezone, but also the vacation of the streets. Probably about 3, 4, 5 years ago, all the time runs together, a group from miners, much of the gentlemen that are sitting behind me today, approached the city of Superior to talk a little bit about expanding a store in the East End. And so after several meetings, they set off on their own to look at the section that you see on the first page of this handout, an area between 22nd Avenue East, 23rd Avenue East along East 2nd Street, between East 2nd Street and the existing business district. Over time, as many of you have seen, the purchases of homes and the disappearing of homes have occurred in that area. We got anything going on, Linda? Or? No, we'll just go off of this. There's no problem. So essentially, what has happened over the last couple of years, Super One and Miners Incorporated have purchased the homes, the hotel, and some vacant properties in the area, and essentially with the goal of creating a 60,000 square foot store with some additional outlets on the property. What you are looking at, if you would turn to the second page. What the heck was that thing? Yeah, whatever. So essentially on the second page is the area that you're looking to rezone tonight in the white. The front part is actually Zone C2 already. We will be rezoning this property to a highway commercial classification. It sounds like it's coming back now, so that's good. I feel better about that. Technology just saves you. So essentially the area in the white is the portion you're looking to rezone, or we're asking to rezone, and the third page lays out, and I think most of this was in your memorandum, is an area that we are looking to vacate. We are vacating East 3rd Street, East 4th Street, as well as the alleys that occupy that area. There we go. So there's the first page, there's the second page. There are the streets that we are vacating. So those are some of the things that we're asking for tonight. Before I get into that, I guess we did have a public hearing, or we did have a review of these at our Plan Commission back in, I do believe it was October. We had a couple of residents show up with that to get some more participation and some more thoughts about some things in the neighborhood. We actually called a public hearing, or a public meeting at Zion Lutheran Church on December 3rd. Had a little bit better turnout with some residents and some businesses to talk a little bit about traffic, what some of the improvements are going to be, and those types of things. The gentlemen from Miners were there to talk a little bit about the store, what some of the amenities are, and those types of things. And I'll turn it over to John Geisler in a minute so that he can answer any of those types of questions. So we did gather some of that information. I'll talk a little bit about some of the info and some of the stuff that the city, the Public Works, and the planning are going to be doing in the next couple of months. Here in a couple of slides. This essentially, and if you're looking at this, the right side is north, and the left side is south. East 2nd Street is the area on the right side of the map that runs which runs up and down. The store will be sitting back in between East 3rd Streets and East 4th Street with the parking area in the middle. And then you see along East 2nd Street the kind of the conceptual drawings of outlots. We're talking about, I don't even want to throw any examples out there. We're talking about potentially a restaurant. We're talking potentially about a bank. Some things that complement what is going on in the store. So I think that Miners will probably will look at those things on a case-by-case basis and kind of move forward with those in that area. But today we're kind of looking at the area that encompasses the parking areas along with the new superstore, or the new 60,000 square foot grocery store. If you look, there is a retail aspect of this currently. Just some examples that Miners have. They have a Quick Cuts in the store over here. There's some other things that they do as well. Flower shops. There's some other areas that could be. I don't know about flower shop. They might do flowers in the thing. So, but some type of retail that is complementary to the store. Here are just some elevations of essentially what the store is going to look like. From the standpoint of the facade, soft tones, enough light, lighting and things of that nature. A couple of the concerns that came out of the Plan Commission meeting that we've been able to address over the last few years through Plan Commission has been some of the lighting concerns, We've done a pretty good job of tightening that up and making sure that no trespass lighting is allowed. Folks use fixtures that are approved, and we actually review those and during the planning process. The other thing that we've done a little bit better job of is landscaping. If you go back to this is a very minimal drawing on landscaping, but essentially what miners will be asked to do is provide some landscaping buffers to soften the area, soften the parking areas, and also so to fit in the neighborhood and provide some green space. Just a couple of things that came out of the public meetings. Here's another site, and I just want to point out some of the traffic issues that we're going to be kind of working on in the next couple of months. If you kind of get your bearings on the area, here's McDonald's, here's the Old Town, Spur gas station here, and this is the area where it's been vacated. Here is the East End Business District. And here are some of the neighborhoods. This is actually Culver's as well. So we've got a lot of traffic that moves through, particularly on East 2nd Street, 2 and 53. It's about 20,000 cars a day. So with this development and with the added traffic that's going to happen, we knew that we needed to work on a stoplight at this location, 22nd Avenue East and East 2nd Street. We've been more or less cleared from a warrant standpoint to locate one there. It actually almost meets warrants as it sits today with traffic and turning movements and the like, but adding the use of a grocery store alone and kind of figuring in and guessing in what's going to go in the outlots, we have no problems warranting a signal at that location. So we have actually are contracting with SEH right now to do some design for us, and we'll be doing some pretty aggressive design at some of the locations and talking with the neighboring businesses as well as Super One about some of the traffic patterns and some of the improvements that we can do at entrances. So that'll be coming forward in the next couple of months. The one thing that we heard at some of the meeting, or the couple of the meetings that we had, particularly with one of the residents, was traffic along 22nd Avenue East. We are going to have some increased traffic at this location. If you remember back to the site plan, the idea is to have the main entrances at East 3rd Street. No entrances will be moved. The East 3rd Street entrances will be lined up with the streets. So that will be the main entrances to the store. I'll go back here a little bit, and I think John can talk a little bit more about this. But if you see, here's East 3rd Street, and here's East 3rd Street. The main entrances will be coming into this store. This will be for employee parking back in here, and for loading, and for trash collection and the like. There will not be, to the best of anybody's ability, any type of customer traffic parking in the rear of the building. So that was one of the concerns. So what we've looked at, particularly with the increased traffic and the streets are wide, is looking at a traffic control, and we're still in progress of looking at this, but looking at a four-way stop at this location at East 3rd Street and 22nd Avenue East. We'll have to do some geometrics at that location. Here I am talking about an engineer, but we'll have to do some geometric alterations at that, potentially a designated right turn lane and a designated left turn lane, because we don't want any backups coming off of here and into East 2nd Street. So we're going to be looking at that as well. The little squares are actually some of the pedestrian high-vis pedestrian crosswalks that we'll be doing in the area. A lot of folks walk out there. We heard that. And a lot of folks want to remain to be safe and have this high-vis. We're going to keep an eye on this a little bit, and you may actually see some ped stanchions show up out there as well. We'll keep an eye on that. So these are some of the things that we're looking at. From an infrastructure standpoint, sidewalks need help. We'll be working out there this summer. We'll be looking at doing what street improvements we can do in 2013. We'll be working with miners on that. So there's a lot of things that are going to kind of be going on out here this summer from that standpoint. So the other thing that I wanted to talk a little bit about that kind of came to light was there's this alley over behind the business district. is in pretty rough shape. We're in the process of looking at that right now. We have televised that sewer as well, so we'll be kind of looking at doing that. And I know Sarah Hoggins here, and she really kind of brought that to our attention. And we knew there were some issues with that alley, and essentially I think we're pretty confident that we can do some things because we don't want to leave an alley and have everything look really nice in this area. So there's some work that we need to do on that end. So that's kind of the project update from the standpoint of not only talking with miners, but also kind of getting out to the neighborhood and providing, getting some input from them as well. So wanted to make sure that the council knew that we tried to involve a lot of folks in this. We more or less invited all the blocks around this, expanded our footprint to maybe about 400 to 500 feet rather than to the 200 feet, which is statutory, just to try to get people to the meetings and the like. So I think we've done a pretty good job. When Todd and I were at the meeting at Zion Lutheran, we reassured them that we would continue to keep looking at this location for any type of traffic problems, for any cut-through traffic issues or anything of that nature. So we encourage the residents to make sure they kind of keep an eye out and report any issues that we might have. We also agreed that we'll be plowing through here probably throughout the spring, just for traffic control. Even though we're going to vacate it, one of the residents asked that we continue to plow, so we're going to continue to do that too. So, John, did you want to add anything, or I'm going to introduce John Geisler. John is the architect from DSGW.
Great. Thank you very much. With me tonight also is Mr. Don Olson from Miners Incorporated. He's a store planner. Bruce Anderson, general counsel with Miners Incorporated, and Mr. Matt Miner, one of the owners of the Super One stores. Jason did a pretty good job covering all of the issues. We're still working on fine-tuning and developing the exact footprint of the store and the layout of the site. But it's in general, it's pretty close to what we were showing there. The grocery store is going to be between 58 and 60,000 square feet. That retail component will be between 9 and 10,000 square feet. There will be the two outlots at 8,000 square feet each. Parking will be in the neighborhood of 350 cars, plus or minus. We do understand that we want to make sure there's room for snow removal, snow piling, et cetera. Jason talked a little bit about the buffering. We do intend to do some landscape buffering between the building and the neighboring residential districts and the parking lot in the residential districts. We did do some tours of some of the other areas of Target, Menards, Walmart, and observed at some of the landscape buffering that was done there and plan to do something consistent to what was done there. Stormwater, we understand that there's some stormwater issues that needs to be tended to as far as how we plan to treat the stormwater before it goes into the storm system. We intend to collect that and cool it in an underground storage system. It's yet to be fully engineered and designed, but that's kind of the goal. So you'll see on the site there are no open ponds. It's all going to be done underground in a cooling system. Lighting was talked about a little bit. We would intend to use the cutoff style lighting. Lighting is always a sensitive issue with safety and security of the customers and the neighboring community. Trash compactor, the way that the store works, there's no open dumpsters. There's a trash compactor that's connected to the building. It's completely enclosed. There's a chute inside of the building. The trash goes through the chute into the compactor. The compactor compress it, and every so often then the recycling and trash people will come and pick that up and then empty it and put a new one back. Cardboard is baled inside the store and generally stored inside the store and then goes back and is recycled. The trash compactor will be screened as required by city ordinance. The schedule for this is once we have the vacations and rezoning is we're continuing to work with Super One in developing the store design and the site design and the engineering associated with it. As Jason said, we certainly need to start having some more meetings as far as stormwater and traffic control and those types of things. We have some utilities we have to deal with that goes through the site that we'll have to consider relocation and how that's going to work. So we have a lot of work ahead of us as far as the design end. We're going to be planning to bid this project in the spring, start construction early summer, and hopefully be open in about a year from now. So I think that's kind of the view from 10,000 feet.
Councilor Olson.
Got a couple questions here. In viewing that map you've got up there right now, has anybody thought of putting a stop sign on the south end of the project as well for consistency? Just so you could eliminate some of the cross-through traffic.
That was one of our
Calm it.
that was one of our keep an eye on activities, Counselor. We can certainly kind of look at some warrants on that end, because we do know that folks are going to use that 23rd Avenue, particularly to get out of the parking lot and to go south. Mm-hmm. It is something that's on our list, and we decided maybe to look at the 3rd Street or the 22nd Avenue one, but I think it's one that we're going to keep an eye on, and I think eventually that will be in front of you as well as an approval item.
Okay, and then the retail, 9 to 10,000 square feet retail, that's listed.
At this time, it's undefined. As Jason had said earlier, there'll be some complementary businesses. Could be pharmacy, could be flower shop, could be
Liquor store?
I suppose that's possible, but at this time, there are no defined uses for that.
Okay. And then the final question is when you're talking about treating the parking lot water and the cooling underground, are you talking about a pervious surface then, impervious?
No, we would probably it would probably be a bituminous parking lot with catch basins, and then a storage system of oversized pipes in the underground, and that enough to size to hold the water and cool it before it's discharged into the storm sewer.
That's pretty common nowadays.
Yep.
Thank you.
Counselor, on the liquor store issue, I think, and Linda can maybe address this a little bit more. We do have that anomaly where you got to have some seats in the store for those types of things. So that would have to be a change, if they were to bring that forward. And I don't know if the council would be looking to do that or not. So, but that would be through the clerk's office.
Councilor Brown.
Yes, just a question for the new store. For us single men, non-coupon clippers, I know when I go down to my son's house down south and I go to the stores down there, they issue you a card, and if you have a coupon item, that you just slide it through and you get the discount for it. Are you going to upgrade your store to that type of a system?
We'll let Mr. Weiner answer that specific question. But I do know, as a shopper of not only do we design their stores, I shop in their stores. With all the smartphones nowadays, you just go in and scan that on their little barcode, and you don't have to clip a coupon when they ring you up. You just tell them the number on your smartphone. But Mr. Miner, any thoughts about that?
Just to comment on that, Bob and I are dinosaurs. We don't know how to do that.
Okay.
Well, then have your grandchildren teach you.
It is pretty simple to do, so, but.
Say, Jason, I had
President
one.
Herrick.
Yeah, just one question. I get a lot of questions asked now that the new store's in the plans. What's going to happen to the Belknap store?
There's no plans to change anything at the Belknap store at this time.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Sorry. Councilor Bender.
Yes, what about the stoplight at 18th Avenue East?
It will stay.
Okay, thanks.
Vice President McKenzie.
Real quick, Jason, at the Plan Commission, I know there were some people there, locals, that were concerned about increased traffic in these areas where they live. Has that all been taken care of?
I think to a point, Counselor. We've throwing in some of these traffic measures to slow traffic, some of the improvements. I see that Linda is not here. Linda Kaler has been more outspoken than the rest of them about traffic, but I think from the standpoint of some of these introductions of some of these calming measures, I think she's at least somewhat okay. I really think she kind of expressed that she really doesn't like the store that much to be there. So I don't know if any type of activity is really going to satisfy her as a resident. But I think some of these improvements that we've made out here really kind of made an impact on a lot of the other residents that were there, and I think they're really looking forward to the store. But I think also we need to make sure we keep an eye on some of the traffic patterns.
Yeah, and I think that you did talk quite a bit about traffic calming, and then just earlier you talked about maybe another stop sign or something, and so. Thanks.
I can address part of that too. We're very concerned with regard not to just traffic flow, but we have a real mess out there with ingress, egress along East 2nd Street in particular. So Jason and I and Director Ketzman have been meeting with DOT with regard to not just the funding of part of this measure by the DOT, but also with regard to correcting the ingress, egress issues out there along the, in particular, the 22nd Avenue to 21st Avenue, as well as across from 22nd Avenue. So as you might know or may have heard, there have been some accidents out there because of the closeness of the traffic ingressing, egressing on East 2nd Street. So between the traffic calming along that line, we're also working with Public Works and designing a better flow for 22nd Avenue East as well as upgrades and 23rd. At this time, what I would like to do is I'll call for a public hearing, and after the public hearing is over, if there are others that wish to speak as the council discusses this further, they're more than welcome to. So at this time, I'll call for a public hearing and ask those that wish to speak in favor of to do so now. For the second time, those that wish to speak in favor of may do so now. Yes, sir. Could you please come forward?
All right. Hi. How you doing? How you guys doing, Mr. Mayor, councilors? My name is Jim Kehoe. I'm actually the franchise owner of the McDonald's restaurant out there. From a purely safety standpoint, and you were talking about traffic flow and everything, I'm always looking out the drive-through or walking around the restaurant checking out what's happening out there. And with the stoplight, and not just because of the increase in traffic, but our traffic is very seasonal out there. And so with the stoplight and what I see proposed right now, I see a lot of positives going on there. I mean, when you see young kids trying to cross the street, and I mean, they're getting that close to cars, it just sort of makes you feel a little rough. So I think that there is some good thought process going into this. Naturally, I'm very concerned about that. That's the first thing we care about, is the safety of our customers and of course, our employees. So I think that that's being addressed very well. I also would like to say, from just a resident standpoint, I live in Superior, and I think that this shows, again, the city of Superior is a progressive place. It's a place that wants to open up for business. It wants to have new and positive things come in. I'm no different than a lot of folks. I might complain about taxes here and there, but here we go. We're going to increase our tax base, which is going to help our schools and help everything else in our city. So I think that's really important. I've been a resident of several towns up in the Upper Peninsula, and anytime you had an opportunity to take on a project like this, I think you studied it well, you made sure it was good for the city and good for that area, and I think we've done that here, or I've seen that done here, and so I'm pretty upbeat about that. Other than that, I'd like to say that we do appreciate the support of the city with dragon boats, since Warren and I work on that diligently all year round. So thank you very much.
Thank you. For the third time, those who wish to speak in favor of may do so now.
Good evening. I'd introduce myself. Since 2004, I've been one of the owners of J.R. Jensen in East End of Superior. And back then, when we first came, I first came to the area back then, there's been so many nice improvements that have been made there in the East End with the East 5th Street being redone and just the whole improvement in that regard. And I'm a resident of Hermantown, but I'd like to just start out by saying I'm very proud to be a business owner in Superior. And it's been a very enjoyable place to do business. And a project like this is, obviously it's kind of in our neighborhood. So, and additionally, we have done work for the Miners Company over the past 8 years. And I'd just like to say that they're a great corporate citizen. I think they've shown that by the studies that they've done here to address some of the concerns in the neighborhood. But overall, I just think it's going to be a wonderful project to really revitalize the East End of Superior, and I think the residents will come to really enjoy the real nice store that'll be there someday. So again, I think I highly support the project and hope you will vote the same. Thank you.
Are there any others that wish to speak in favor of? Hearing and seeing none, I'll ask those that wish to speak in opposition may do so now. Those that wish to speak in opposition may do so now. For the final call, those that wish to speak in opposition may do so now. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the public hearing closed and ask the pleasure of the council. Motion to approve. Second. Heard the motion and second to approve. Discussion. Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
5.2 is a resolution introduced by the Plan Commission to vacate and discontinue streets and alleys between 22nd and 23rd Avenues East and East 2nd and 4th Streets.
You've heard the description. I'll call for another public hearing and ask those that wish to speak in favor of to do so now. Second, those that wish to speak in favor of to do so now. And for the final reading, those that wish to speak in favor of may do so now. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the public hearing to close and ask the pleasure of the council. I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I not do that? Those that wish to speak in opposition may do so now. Another senior moment here. Those that wish to speak in opposition may do so now. And for the last time, those that wish to speak in opposition may do so now. Hearing and seeing none, I'll call the public hearing to a close and ask the pleasure of the council. For the motion in multiple seconds, discussion. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 6 is the consent agenda.
For the motion and second to approve, President Herrick.
Yeah, I just want to pull 6.5, just for some discussion.
The motion is to approve the consent agenda except 6.5. All in favor of the consent agenda without 6.5 signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Carried. President Herrick.
Item 6.5 is the License and Fees Committee meeting recommendation to approve the applications for original Class B liquor and beer and cabaret licenses by Superior Entertainment, trade name Ugly Stick Saloon, 3303 Belknap, and appoint Stacy Carolla agent for the remainder of the license period ending June 30th.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I just basically pulled this because we're still getting some concerns about this, again, the noise and so on and so forth. So what I'm just going to reiterate here is that that we're going to keep an eye on this and see how the noise does progress from this, and just to let the citizens that if there are any concerns that they will be brought up, hopefully to myself or to our our clerk. So if there are any concerns with this, for those that are listening, concerns about this cabaret license, please let me know. And again, we'll keep an eye on it for the first license period. Thank you.
Thank you. I'll ask for the pleasure.
Move for approval of 6.5.
You've heard the motion and second to approve 6.5. Discussion? Hearing none, all in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 7.1, Public Works Director Getzman is recommending to award the contract for master plumbing inspection services to Richard Campbell in the amount of $1,250 per month for 2013 and $1,350 per month for 2014 and 15.
Heard the motion and multiple seconds to approve. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
7.2, Acting Fire Chief Steve Panger is advising the City of Superior Fire Department has been awarded a staffing for adequate fire and emergency response grant in the amount of $944,962. There are no matching revenues required by the city, and he is requesting approval.
You've heard the motion and lots of seconds. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
8.1, Mayor Hagan is appointing Kaylee Hermanson to the Plan Commission for a term expiring December 2015.
I'd like to just say a couple comments here about this appointment. Ms. Hermanson asked to meet with me some months ago, I guess, and her desire to meet was with regard to how she can get involved in being a stronger community member and what she can do to forward that. We talked quite at length, and I asked her what she would be interested in, and she said a committee or commission that would be appropriate for her interest and experience in being a stronger community member. I walked away from that meeting, got in my car, and on the way back to the office, I said to them, I just examined my thoughts, and it came to me, which is humbling to say, that we do not have a single young professional on any, that I know of, on any city committee or commission. And what further struck me is that there must be many, many people out there that are looking to serve in one way or another, and then with thinking again is that it's probably time, it should have been time a long time ago to encourage younger people to be involved in the community in any way they wish and can provide the support for whatever the mission that they have. And I believe it's incumbent upon us to give these people, these young people, experience to be a part of the greater community, and that beyond her professionalism, it was just a thought of mine that it's time to open a door to the ability to have younger people take the reins and be a part of our mission here. So with that, I ask for your approval. Motion and second. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 8.2 is Mayor Hagan's update on the animal shelter.
Recently, to be placed on this agenda, I drafted a letter of recommendation and mostly a letter of follow-up to discussions we've had with regard to the animal shelter at recent meetings. I think it was the early October meeting. And the takeaway from that meeting by the administration was to the effect that we were charged with looking at several things with, first of all, the site selection. As many people know and are equally concerned, we've bounced around a lot on where to put this animal shelter in appropriate location. And the one that we preferred, I think, by everybody would have been at 46th and Tower Avenue in the Airport Reserve. That couldn't happen timely because of the fact that There are arduous and extensive and lengthy approvals by the BOA, Bureau of Aeronautics, and the FAA and the federal FAA. And thinking about urgency of this project, we decided to move on to other sites, which I think for most of us agree were not preferred. I want to thank City Assessor who brought forth the site that we're recommending, Bear Creek Park in Itasca. It has all the attributes that one would want and wish for with regard to siting a shelter or a structure that should be visibly noted in the community to those of us that live here and people passing through. So the recommendation is several-fold. One is with regard to the thinking about the site. The second is a cost analysis with regard to the structure itself. The third is a feature analysis that should be brought forward soon with regard to the operational cost of the shelter. And the bullet points that you have before you, and I apologize because I don't have them in front of me, we would like to have the opportunity to flesh out these particular bullet points and bring them back to you no later than this third Tuesday in February. There will not be a meeting in the beginning of this year that conflicts with the new year. So we would like a little bit of time. And most of what you have in those bullet points are easily achievable. Some have already been identified as far as content and accuracy. A couple of them have not, of course, because of the new site. The new site, proposed site, I should say, and right now Public Works has called for and contracted for soil borings out there and a couple other site preparation items so that we can bring that analysis back to you. But we feel very strongly that the site will be hold its weight with regard to the responsible necessities for that particular site. Like you, we are anxious to move forward with this particular project. Many of you, much longer than me, Mick McKenzie, for instance, and Gene Vito, have worked on this for the better part of 4 years. So I'll be asking for your consent to move forward to bring further, deeper analyses back to you so that we can get this final design and get it out to bid in very early spring. Councilor Bridge?
I couldn't be more opposed to the site. A couple of years ago during an election, or going on 2 years ago, one of the topics that came up at the time, and I was singled out for at a forum during that election, was what I could do to make the entrance to the city, my entrance to the city, more attractive. And my response was, when you come into the city in my district, the first thing you see is a park. And I think it looks pretty nice. I don't think putting a building on that corner is going to do anything to enhance the aesthetics of the entrance to the city at all, not to mention clogging up our a nice park, whether or not that particular space is used or not. I mean, we have Osage Trail marker there, welcome to Superior, and the logo that the city had developed a number of years ago at a great deal of cost. Not to mention the fact that it couldn't be less centrally located in terms of serving the citizens of the city equally. For everybody that lives anywhere but East End, Itasca, and Eloise, it's an inconvenience. There's already a facility just a couple miles out off of Highway 13. I don't know, I don't know how big it is, but why not take it out of town completely? But I would never endorse using that location for this.
Thank you. Councilor Finsland.
I have a question regarding the time frame. You said the third Tuesday in February. I believe that would conflict with Superior Days, and I don't think a lot of councilors would be here then.
You know what? We talked about that this afternoon, and that is a very strong consideration with regard to the conflict, so that may have to be moved. You're correct on that. Councilor.
Yeah, Mayor, thanks. I really appreciate this update and the summary of this project that you put together. It's pretty detailed. I really appreciate your continued support and commitment to this project that, like you say, a lot of us have been working on for 4 years, and then you come along and have supported this. That means a lot to so many people that have been working on this project for so long. Tom, I appreciate your thoughts on that, and everybody has an opinion, and I think that's legitimate. Problem is that we've been looking for sites for so long. This is probably the eighth site that has come along, and I hate to see it go again. We are certainly going to analyze this and make sure that everybody's happy. I think if I'm right, I think Jeff and Mary may have first identified this property. I'm not sure. I know Brad has talked about it, discussed it. I think a little bit, with other people. I think it's a good site. It has all of the utilities there. I think the idea of it not being centrally located, I'm not sure if that makes a big difference, because we were trying to make it appealing to the county, and that would make it more accessible for people in the county. And Animal Allies, I think, has gone through the same type of a situation where they had lots of sites that they would rather have had than they ended up with. But they found out that word of mouth and the work that they do, that people do find them. And so I think this is an ideal spot that I think is going to have an impact on this project, especially when it comes to the capital campaign, because I think that people want to know where this site is going to be, or this building is going to be, and they want to know who's on board. And so I think we have one or two major contributors that are looking at it just because of that. And Mayor, I think that you have a good idea. I like your idea of all these issues that you've outlined about these things going to these committees, especially the finance and the public works. First off, to analyze the property itself. Tom can certainly express his concerns there, but I think I think it's going to be public works. I think are going to be the main things, and finance. When it comes to, probably public works when it comes to size, and then cost, depending on the size, and then do this, according to what was approved in the CIP budget. So I hope we can get this done. It's been a long, long time, like you say, and I'm looking forward to moving this along. And I think there may be some people here in the audience that have some thoughts and some suggestions, and so I'd like to hear them if they would like to speak.
Well, there's two things. The first thing is I've spent more than my time on the council, which is in the range of about 10 and a half years right now, working to come to a long-range plan for what is the second largest natural area within our city limits, and likely the most used, and we want to put an animal shelter at the entrance. That's one thing. The other is, who decided that there was something wrong with the Hill Avenue site? I mean, there's plenty of room big enough for a building. We talked at length about that. There's enough room for a 10,000 square foot building and enough parking right there. Well, what happened to that?
It's still open for discussion. This is just a recommendation. Council Olson.
So if I'm reading these right, Frog, maybe you can help me. In these bullet points, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 areas that we would be possibly sending these to a committee to move these forward. Is that something that we should be doing, or can we bundle them all into one, move forward with the recommendations, and then, in the interest of time as well,
Yeah, personally, I would, if they were all sent to separate committees, we'll be elongating the discussion into June. If you choose to send it to committee, I would like to have perhaps the committee of the whole, so that they're all addressed at progressively at one time.
Then my next question is, do we need to reschedule a February meeting? With that, I would make the motion to move forward with the following I'd like to make a motion to move forward with the recommendations by Mayor Hagan for the city animal shelter.
Move forward to committee of the whole, is that what?
Sure.
Or just approve recommendations?
Committee of the whole.
Second.
We did have one person signed up to speak.
I'll take care of it. So, clarification on my part, move forward with the recommendation to bring these items back for final review and consideration?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure.
Is there a second to that?
Yes.
Council Bender?
I just had a thought as far as February, since many might be gone to Superior Days, which would be the second meeting of the City Council in February, that maybe we need to move, combine the 5th and the 19th and move to February 12th and schedule a committee of the whole. That's the Tuesday in between.
I'll entertain the motion that was offered by Councilor Olson, then we can take up the date afterwards. Prior to that, pleasure, I'd like to ask Gene Kioski would like to speak to this issue.
Thank you for the opportunity to speak. My name is Jean Kioski. I'm the secretary on the board of directors for the Humane Society of Douglas County. Just something for you to consider when making your decision about all of this. The Humane Society of Douglas County was recently informed of a large amount of money that is being willed to us by two different individual estates. And we believe that if we were included in the new shelter for 2013, that we could give a substantial amount to the capital campaign. We would just like you to take this into consideration when you're making your final decisions. Also, singling out the county animals from the new shelter, I believe, is just further dividing the county from the city and working together on future projects. It seems ludicrous for residents to continue to support two shelters, two separate buildings that have all the same business expenses as other businesses, insurance and staff and utilities, etc., when a combined effort would best serve the community. People that care about animal welfare don't look at boundary lines. They look at helping homeless animals and doing what is best, for which we believe is one facility to serve all of Douglas County. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak to this issue prior to me calling the question? Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, City Councilors, Thank you. Tom Johnson, I'm the chairman of the Town of Lakeside, chairman of Douglas County Unit of Wisconsin Town Association. I also urge, just as Gene did in Humane Society of Douglas County, that you do consider the animals of the county, of the entire, all of Douglas County, including the city of Superior. I know the shelter is much needed, and one facility, obviously, in everybody's mind, makes a heck of a lot more sense. We're going through a process right now. I've received a number of postcards. We sent postcards to all the towns and villages for monetary support. I know there was a proposal brought forward by Doug Finn. You have notes to that effect in your letter. And, right now, with the way that budgeting is and everything else like this, it's very tight in the city. It's tight in the towns. Right now, the proposal that is there, that you see on the paper, is I think there's a note of $20,000 from the county. Further to that, to add to that, is also of that proposal that's not on the paper is a $10,500 contribution from the towns and villages. So far, I've received about 2/3 of the postcards back from the towns and villages, and a majority of them are willing to contribute. So, to what extent the contribution? There's most of the comment that I've received a number of phone calls of question about the facility and everything. There's a lot of questions out there that still remain to be answered. Location, size. There's a lot of questions far beyond that still have to be answered with respect to the facility. So I'm asking you just to include the county and the towns and villages in your discussion in the future. Thank you.
Vice President McKenzie.
Yeah, if I could, Mayor, just one thing to Tom. I just wanted to mention that he has been someone that has been a big advocate of this project for the towns and the villages, and I really appreciate his commitment and Roger Letourneau's. And then going back to Jean Kioski when she was talking about the efforts and the idea of having this combined shelter. This is something that went back way at the start of this project. It was something that Jean and I discussed in many meetings that we had, task forces, and we knew that we had to find somebody that had all this knowledge about shelters, and that we wanted to be sure that what we were going to do, if we were going to combine them, if we were going to have two separate ones, and who was going to run it. And that's when we hired the Humane Society of the United States that came here from Washington, did a thorough investigation for, Gene, remember, was it 2 days or 3 days? And was at both shelters here, and then went to Animal Allies. And their determination, after a lot of work, was that we need to have this one combined shelter. So it just didn't come out of thin air. It's been talked about and discussed, and then I think we've even passed those motions at the council. So thanks for everybody that's been here, that's helped along with this project, and given so many ideas. And again, Tom, thanks a lot for being an advocate, for out there in the villages. I know you guys are going to come through.
Any further discussion? I'd ask Councilor Olson.
Go ahead. You're going to call the question, please.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 9.1, there's 3 letters of interest that have been received to fill the remainder of 6th District Councilor Len Joyle's term, effective December 27th. We have letter of interest from Lou Martin, Kimberly Collins, and Marge Kaptonic.
Mr. President, did you want to entertain these this evening?
Yes.
Yes, if we can have each person come to and speak to us, that'd be great for a couple minutes. Other interests?
Mr. Martin, did you want to speak to the council as to your interest in serving?
And folks, before we get started, and just to be consistent, where would you like to cap the comments from the prospective candidates? 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 5 minutes?
3 minutes.
Yeah, 3 minutes.
I've heard 2 and 3.
1 minute.
Let's say 3 minutes. We follow policy.
You sure?
Anybody takes 3 minutes, I'll be fine.
Yes, I thank the council for listening to me. I would like to get permission from the council to fill out the remaining term of Len Choyle, who is going to warmer weather, I understand. And it'd be for about 3 months. And I want the council to know that in April, when the elections come up, I will not be running for the job permanently. I have spent all my working hours in radio and TV, as perhaps most of you know. And I was born here in Superior and educated in the schools and the university, and always was interested in radio. And so it's hard to believe that Duluth, Superior, northern Minnesota, and northern Wisconsin had just 2 radio stations, KDAL and WDSM. WDSM, or rather WABC. And WABC was in Superior, the whole operation, the business office and the studios. And I would hung around there and had an audition. That worked out pretty good. They didn't have an opening, but they had an opening in Eau Claire. And that's where I went. Eau Claire was, at that time, and still is a real fine town. I worked there for about a year and heard about a station in St. Paul, went over there, was hired right away, and came back to Superior on the train in those days. And it was it was a good station. You worked real hard. You did everything. And one of the times at home, I found out that there was a station going to be in Superior, and it was going to be started by a James Conroy, who was an attorney up in the Board of Trade building. He was city attorney under Mayor Baxter. And so I went to see him, and he said, hey, we want you to work for us, but we aren't ready. We are going to put a tower up, and we haven't started that yet. We have to have a building for the transmitter building, and that's going to be done on Connors Point. But come and see us every time you come home. So in a couple of months, I went up there again, and he said, go down and let them know you're going to work for a station. That was in 1939, and I think I started a couple of months before the station went on the air, and it went on the air, and I put it on the air the first morning it went on the air in about, I think in November, perhaps September of 1939. The newspapers all over the United States were interested in radio, and it was true here also. The station was purchased by the Duluth Herald and News Tribune. The Herald was an evening paper that they put out.
Mr. Martin,
Yes.
We're past the time limit, sir.
Yes. Just to conclude.
We should wrap it up. We've gone well over 3 minutes.
Yes, okay. And so it was a good move. They sold the station to the Ritters, St. Paul Pioneer Press, and those people had money and went into TV. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Give your name. Come on.
Hi, I'm Marge Kaptanak, and I'm a resident of Len Joyles District. I was born in Superior, had my schooling here in Superior, left Superior to find a job, and then came back to Superior in 1988 working for the Superior School District. I've taught 33 years and I'm now retired, and I've had a cabin at Lake Amnicon, so I'm familiar with the area here. And this would be a baby step for me to consider if I might like getting into politics. So that's why I put forth my name for you to consider for completing Len's term. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good evening, Mayor and the Council. My name is Kim Collins. I'm a somewhat new resident to the 5th District because we just bought a house in that area. But I've lived in Superior now, excuse me, for 3 years. My family moved up here for my husband to work in energy. And during that time, I've been raising my daughter and educating her. And I advocate for her health. She is type 1 diabetic. And since I've been up here, I've been on the Parents Advisory Board of the, when it was St. Mary's for the type 1 diabetes. And my background is in theater and education. I have an MFA in theater. I have taught and acted and directed. My specialty was voice for the actor. And since I've been up here, my daughter's a little older now, I have a little bit more time, and I've been getting somewhat active in the community. I've directed a couple of original productions for the Douglas County Historical Society. The most recent one was You'll Find It at Roth's. I've really enjoyed doing this. It combined my love of history and my love of theater. And most recently, I've been very eager and interested to get more politically active. And when I saw the announcement in the paper for the vacancy in the 6th District, I decided that this was an excellent opportunity. I'm interested both in the short-term appointment, and I plan to run for the seat in April. I think that Superior is a beautiful place to live. My family really enjoys getting out and out of doors year-round, and I think it's a great place to raise a family. And I just want to take a more bolder step in community service, and I think this would be an excellent way to do that. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
If someone wants to make a motion to nominate a person, you could do that now.
I'd like to nominate Lou Martin.
I'll second.
You've heard a motion and a second nominating Lou Martin to fill the remaining term of Councillor Joyle. Discussion? All in favor signify by
Is there
saying
any
aye.
other?
Sorry.
Sorry. Is there any other nominations? We could nominate another person if you like, and then take a roll call vote to see who would get the most votes if there was another nomination. Otherwise, this would be the only.
Are there any other nominations? I'm sorry.
Just to make it fun, can I nominate the last person that spoke? Yes. Yes.
Is there a second?
Just to be clear, the nomination is for Ms. Collins. Do I have that right?
We need a second if so.
Is there a second to the motion? Pardon me? Motion and second. Are there any other nominations? Hearing none. Would the clerk call the roll?
On the motion to nominate Lou, we're going to start with Denise. In favor to nominate Lou?
I think probably the way to do this is just to have each counselor state the name of the preferred candidate.
Yep, smarter.
I
I would say Lou Martin.
Counselor Joyle? Counselor Frinsland?
Lou Martin.
Counselor Herrick?
Lou Martin.
Counselor McKenzie?
Lou Martin.
Counselor Brown?
Lou Martin.
Counselor Olson?
Lou Martin.
Counselor Bridge?
I would vote to leave the seat open until the next election.
Counselor Bender?
Lou Martin.
Counselor Stenberg? Okay, 7-2. Oh, it passed. So count.
7 votes in favor of Lou Martin. Motion passed. Counselor?
I would just like to thank you for coming, and I hope you do go forward with running in April. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Item 10.1 is a resolution of the Common Council accepting a utility easement in connection with the property located on Barker's Island and draft easement agreement.
What is the pleasure? Second. Heard a motion and second to approve. Discussion? President Herrick?
Yeah, Jason, would this be your area? Okay, just a question. How did this come about? Isn't this normal procedure once we approved it before for the easements, or how did this come about?
This has come about because there will be some certified survey maps that will be presented to the Plan Commission probably in the next couple of months on the Barker's Island kind of housing development that was approved probably 2 or 3 years ago when we did if you recall, we did a land trade with Barker's Island Marina. We did a land trade with Barker's Island Development Corporation. And in order to kind of get the CSMs and the correct recording order, we needed to do the easements first, which have more or less our utilities and water and things of that nature recorded first, and then informalized, and then we'll do the CSMs. So that's why this is coming about.
All right, thank you.
Yep.
Further discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried.
Item 11.1 is an ordinance by the Common Council establishing a bulkhead line in Superior Bay of the St. Louis River, Douglas County, Wisconsin.
Motion and second to approve. Discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Any further business to come before this body? Councilor Brown?
We have a business.
Councilor Brown?
Yes, there was supposed to be somebody here from NEAR. Is there anybody?
Pardon me? Whoa. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry.
12.1 is the Superior Amateur Hockey Association requesting continued support for the Great Lakes Classic Pond Hockey Championship.
You've heard the motion. Second. Councilor Brown?
Yes, I was just going to refer to NEAR, have the gentleman speak, but I'll do that. I'll wait till after this hockey association.
All in favor of the motion and second signify by saying aye. Aye. Opposed? Councilor Brown?
Yes.
Councilor Brown?
Yes, that's all I had was about NEAR.
Okay.
I'm Sean Schooler. I'm the research coordinator for the Lake Superior National Estuarine Research Reserve. I just wanted to give you a brief 2-minute update of where we are. So it's 2 years into the reserve now, and one of our mandates is to do environmental monitoring. And toward that end, we put in water quality monitoring devices into the St. Louis River estuary at Oliver Bridge and at Blatnick Bridge, Bong Bridge, and on our Barker's Island office area on one of the docks down there. And they'll be measuring water quality parameters every 15 minutes for, well, as long as we can keep them in. We had to take them out last week because of the ice. But they'll go back in the spring, and all this information will be available on the website. So real-time with telemetry, so you get real-time data, so monitoring. One of the reasons why I'm here today is that we're intending on putting a weather station in Pokegama Bay and making Pokegama Bay one of our central research sites. And you'll see on our flyer there, it's one of the center points of the Estuary Reserve. And just to let you know that the idea is to put in an 8-foot platform, and there'll be a weather station mounted on top of that. And again, all that information will be transferred via satellites to a web station, so you can see all that information on the web. The goal of all this is to just do more informed management decisions, monitor the water quality, monitor the air, the meteorological conditions, to make sure that we can maintain the estuary at a high ecological level. So that's all really I had to say.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Prior to accepting a motion to adjourn, we'll be polling the council with regard to Councillor Olson's suggestion that the February 19th meeting will conflict with conflict with the ability for a number of the councillors to be present at that meeting. So we'll be polling to find what the best date would be for that meeting. I'll entertain a motion to adjourn. All in favor? I stand adjourned.